Welcome back to another edition of the Platoon Baseball Podcast. I am Chris Sathy, joined by my co-host Jesse Paul. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, Chris. How about you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. I think you've prepared something for us here to start the episode.
Yeah, I heard you haven't seen it yet, so I wanted the funniest moment of the offseason so far, this Boba Fett press conference.
Okay.
So I just want to have you watch it and kind of get your reaction. So we'll just start the pod with something funny. So here we go.
Okay. I got you.
And anyone else who wants to answer, you have a very favorable opt-out option in there, and you're obviously got youth on your side I guess you're almost 28, about 20, going to be 28. Should anybody look at this as potential one-year deal? How are you looking at this?
John, thanks for your question. Good afternoon, everybody. We had a lot of conversations about the different structure of the deal, and Bo had his choice of long-term deals, shorter-term deals, opt-outs. I think the important thing to know here is he's coming here because he's committed to this team. You know, his priority was finding a place where he could felt like he could.
All right, that's enough of it. But his reaction there.
My feeling right now is his agent is speaking is that Raw Burgundy one where he's sitting there and goes, "Don't believe you."
Yeah, it was quite
I
the
mean,
startled reaction from Bo. He didn't know what to say, which is fair. I mean, that's not something you should. What an out-of-pocket question to ask. His
but
first
let's
press
be
conference with the team.
true. Let's be real though. 3 years with opt-outs. If he has a banger year, why
For
not?
sure, but then that's good for Mets fans. Then it
Yeah,
means he had a great year and they probably succeeded.
100%. I'm not saying it's a lose for the Mets, but
Yeah. Just a
I,
crazy question to ask in your first press conference. Probably something you don't need to say right away, but
hey,
his reaction was awesome.
reporters are unhinged, man.
They are. Yeah. So good way to start the episode. A little Boba Fett meme.
Take two, Bagel Bow.
All right. Let's get back into some over under. You won last week. We don't have Rito on today. So this week I'm gonna have you get 3 out of 5 and we'll consider it a win. How does that sound?
Be better if I didn't see the answers, Jess.
Oh no, I'm sharing it. Oh no. We could keep this in. That's tough. Yeah, so here's the answers.
I went 5 for 5 this week, guys. I won.
Oh no, that's bad. Okay,
Can you pull another one on the fly?
I can for sure pull one on the fly. Let me
Okay.
stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, let's stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, that's a tough start.
All right. Hey, this is what the Platoon Baseball Podcast does best. We adapt to the situation and we
Yeah.
overcome.
Yeah. Okay. Originally it was going to be over under ERA of 3.5. Um, but we are going to do a 4 ERA now, and it's all active players.
Okay.
Okay. We're on the fly. 4 ERA.
Okay. This is career or last season? Sorry.
Career.
Career. Okay.
Career for active players. Okay.
Gotcha. Yep.
To start off, we have Dylan Cease over under 4 ERA.
I actually was just thinking you were going to ask Dylan Cease.
That's funny.
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
He's had a couple good seasons, but he's also had a couple where I've seen that ERA spike up. So I think maybe he's just on the wrong side of 4.
Okay. Next we'll go Steven Matz. I'm trying to keep it current for us. Players that have been, you know,
I think that's got to be over.
okay.
Matsie's been a solid guy who can eat innings, but he's jumped around. Nobody's really tried to keep him around. I'm gonna go over 4.
Sure, sure. Jose Barrios.
That's a tough one for me too, because Barrios had some really good years.
I'll give you
Oh
a
my
hint.
goodness.
Not that it's going to help you. It is very close to 4.
I'm gonna say under.
Okay.
Shout out Blue Jays.
Okay. Lucas Giolito.
Due to the last 3 years of his career, I'm gonna say over.
Okay. Now I'll tell you right now, you are 2 for 4.
Oh,
So we need a
we need
clutch
one
here.
more.
We
Okay.
need one to get right. We're gonna go the 45-year-old Rich Hill.
See, now this one's interesting because he's got a lot of innings pitched.
He has 21 years pitched in the MLB. He has
So
1,418 innings pitched.
he may be like on that edge where like he's pitched so much that like it's lowered it down. But sorry, Dick Mountain, I'm going over.
And Chris Sathy does it once again by .018 ERA. He is
Let's go.
over.
Wow, that's it?
Just that's it. 4.018 ERA.
Wow, shout
I,
out.
I'm looking at the list and I did all the close ones. So they're all
Which
pretty close.
ones did I miss?
Yeah, we'll go over that. So Dylan Cease, you said over. That was incorrect. He has a 3.88.
Oh, so a little bit under.
Yeah.
That's good for him.
Mats, you said over. That is correct. He has a 4.194. Barrios, you said under. That is incorrect.
Really?
He's a 4.083, so pretty close. But
Yeah. Wow.
Giolito, you said over. That was correct. He has a 4.3. Pretty high.
The last few years have not been kind to Mr. Gio.
Yes, correct. And then Hill, you said over. Obviously, you got that one right just by the skin of your teeth.
That's 2 for 2, brother.
Two for
Batting 1,000, if
two
you
and
will.
0. Yeah, after I exposed the answers for the first one, we
I should have just
adapted.
rolled with it. I would have looked like a genius.
You could have been like, I think his ERA is 3.815 for
Hey,
Kevin Gosman.
you did good. You had something to go right away, so good for
Yeah, I
you.
had the list up still from earlier, so that
Little
was
little adversity to start the pod for Jess, but he overcame it.
yeah. First, we didn't have sound on the Boba Fett video, and then we exposed my trivia game. So great work, great work.
Good stuff.
But okay. All right, let's move on to the hot corner. MLB's hottest news of the week. A lot less to go over, thankfully, since we didn't wait so long. I'll share my screen again so you can follow along with me.
Perfect. As long as there's no more
Now the
games
game,
involved, we should
no,
be okay.
the games are done for me, at
We're
least.
done messing around, everybody. It's
All
go
right,
time.
let's get to business. So just a unfortunate note to start off. Ha-Sung Kim undergoes surgery, repairing a torn tendon on his right middle finger, expected to miss 4 to 5 months. So that's going to set him back he's not going to be able to start the beginning of the season. So unfortunate for the Braves, season where they're looking to bounce back. And I think we both expect them to bounce back and make a run in the playoffs. And this is not the start you're looking for, but obviously plenty of games that he will be playing and be able to make an impact.
You know, about this moment in time, I bet the Braves wish they had a Gold Glove caliber shortstop by the name of Nicky Pickett.
Nicky
I bet at this
nicknames?
moment in time they're thinking about Nick Allen. But I think Doobie will probably cover some of
Yeah.
that load over there at short, so they should be set over there with some consistent play. And you know they may go make a move for somebody too. Who knows? So we'll
Yeah, I
we'll
mean
see what there's still time, you know.
it's 4 to 5 months from today, so that only puts him out until, I don't know, probably June. So he's
Yeah.
not going to miss too much of the season, but certainly something to
Yeah.
look at.
Well,
All right. Lou Bob traded to the Mets for infielder Luis Angel Acuna and right-handed pitcher Truman Polly. Luis Robert Jr. Not sure if anyone saw this coming.
I think when Uncle Steve said there was smoke coming, or what was that exact tweet?
Yeah, he saw the smoke.
He saw the smoke, and we all assumed it was for Mr. Tucker. He wasn't wrong. He was just early. The Mets are active, man, and they go get a guy like Lou Bob. We've seen Robert, I mean, play really good baseball in the past. I know he had a rough season last year, but I'm still all in on Luis Robert. So I think it's a great move for them. It gets them that outfielder they desperately needed. And to be honest, there's a couple good prospects going back to the White Sox in that. So I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. This is Murakami looking around, looking for the other stars on his team. Little Will Smith in the empty room meme.
Shout out
Um,
Fresh Prince.
yeah. He's like, what's going on here? But yeah, I mean the Mets making an absolute splash with that trade.
Yep.
Incredible defense and potential for offense. We saw it in 23, but he obviously needs to get back to that. Obviously the skills are there. Um, he's just got to put it together. And you got to think the New York is the place you want to go to, bring the dog out of somebody. So hopefully that happens for Luis Robert Jr. Could be a
Yeah,
big
it
season
just
for him.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think going into a lineup where he doesn't have to be the main attraction and the other guys will be focused on is something that can really help revamp his career.
Yeah, it's also hard to show up to the park every day and, really try to make an impact when your team's losing substantially more games than you're winning and you don't really have much to play for.
Yeah. No, he's in a much better spot than he was the day before he got traded. So,
Yeah. Okay. And then a little bit of a smaller trade. Red Sox acquire Nate Baez from the Twins for utility guy Tristan Gray. Nate Baez being a catcher, of course.
Twins get their guy. Everything's fixed.
Twins have made what, three, four very small moves now, which is probably all the offseason is going to be for them.
They made another move today too.
Did they?
They did, I believe. Which Rogers brother do you have on the Blue Jays now?
Taylor?
So I think they signed Tyler if you have Taylor.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did Passan not post?
I don't know if the brother is at passing level at this moment in his career,
Oh, okay.
but
We have Tyler. They signed Taylor. That's my fault.
gotcha. So
Tyler has the low arm slot. Taylor is the left-handed pitcher with the normal arm slot.
gotcha. So Taylor signed with the Twinkies today.
1 year deal, 11 hours. Oh, this morning. Okay.
Yeah. So
1 year, $2 million. Yeah, that's fair. Passing didn't even blank.
yeah, it's I mean they're making a they look, they went out and they got guys like Josh Bell, Victor Caratini, now Taylor Rogers. I mean, there's I don't know if I'd say I get excited about it, but at least like you can put some guys on the field where it's like, hey, I know who that is.
Yeah, and they're gonna have a lot of prospects too, so you just gotta try to find the guys to, support them. Um,
100%.
okay. Next one, Cody Bellinger, outfielder and first baseman, finally signs the Yankees 5 years, 162.5 mil. The contract includes opt-outs after the second and third season, included a $20 million signing bonus and a full no trade clause.
I'll kick it right back to you. I mean, you and Brady were after the Bo Bichette signing on the Mets, were really pushing that you wanted to go down this road of getting Cody to have that left-handed bat in the lineup. So I'll let you kind of take it and your thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, from the Blue Jays perspective, it looked like we were going to get Kyle Tucker. We don't get him. We're going to get Bo Bichette. Okay, now we're going to get Bellinger. And obviously, they ended up not spending that money yet. I'm not sure if that's going to happen in a trade or what. But yeah, he re-signs with the Yankees, which honestly I didn't think was going to happen. I had him signing with the Mets or the Giants. I thought the Yankees were more committed to giving Dominguez time in left and then Spencer Jones time in center. And then they also brought back Trent Grisham. So it's a bit of a crowded infield or outfield, excuse me. He can play first base though, which I do think will happen more often this year. If I am correct, I don't think Goldschmidt is coming back this season with the Yankees. So that would leave a spot at first base for him. But then you have Ben Rice there as well. So just a lot of internal competition, which is always a good thing, but it is a bit crowded. Maybe this means another season for like Dominguez kind of coming in and pinch hitting, and Spencer Jones still developing. So yeah, I don't know. They're obviously in win now mode. They are every year. So signing the bat and the quality defense is an obvious play. And he was kind of the last guy left to fill that role, unless you were going to do it by trade, which we
Yeah.
saw the Mets do. So once the Mets signed that, I think, they just kind of had to get the deal done.
Yeah, totally agree. I very interested to see what the Yankees do this year. I mean, you think about it, like you mentioned, the crowded outfield. That crowded outfield includes Giancarlo Stanton. Now, I know he doesn't play a ton in the field,
He won't at
but
all, I don't think.
with some DH, I mean, you would think with some of the guys in the lineup, there's some DH guys who should probably be DHing in there too. So I don't know what you do if you're them. I feel like at some point one of these guys is going to get moved. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they tried Stanton right towards the end of last year when Judge was hurt. It did not go well. He's an everyday DH guy.
But
And if
like you mentioned, bringing in Grisham, retaining Grisham and Bellinger and
Mhm.
having Judge and guys like Dominguez and Jones on the way up, it's a really full roster right now. That's the best way I would describe it. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
what direction do you go that makes the most sense for your team? It'll be interesting to see how Aaron Boone handles that.
I 100% agree. You maybe trade a prospect for a guy who plugs in a better spot. You don't know. Volpe had an interesting season last year. He kind of picked it up towards the end, but
Baby
defense
Jeter.
wasn't. Baby Jeter absolutely struggled on defense at the start of the year, as well as Chisholm. And then they brought in Ryan McMahon, who kind of settled things down, it seemed. So, yeah, you wonder if they do something in the middle of the infield. I think they're happy with Ben Rice at first and then Bellinger plugging in there. So it's just kind of the middle of the infield that's in question, and then whatever they do with the center field and left field positions.
I think we have at least one more Spencer Jones for Paul Skeens rumor in us this year. I think we got one left in us.
I'm done with those. So, but yeah, I'm sure there will be more. All right, we good with Bellinger before we move on to the next bomb?
Good.
All right. New York Mets acquire Freddy Peralta from the Brewers. The top prospects were Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat.
The Mets are doing it all, man. They've had a week.
Absolutely.
I mean, Freddie last year was dominant. That dude's I mean, look at his career. That dude's a stud, bona fide stud.
Yeah.
So great, a great pickup for the Mets. I know we're going to talk about it later, but the Mets are doing everything they can to get back to that postseason and get back to that NLCS where they left off in 2024. They're going to do everything they can to take down the mighty mighty Dodgers. So I love this move for them.
Yeah. Jet being a shortstop, center fielder, and second baseman, which they kind of filled all those positions with the new acquisitions and Lou Bob, and then they already obviously have a middle infield, and then bringing in Bo Bichette as well, who's has to switch positions. There
Yeah.
just wasn't space for him on the roster at that point, so makes sense. They kind of got their guy to lead the way in the rotation, which they didn't have. And he was an absolute dog all season, like you said, and in the playoffs as well. So, yeah, great move by the Mets. They brought in Weaver and Devin Williams earlier this year too. So, um, yeah, the Mets are on the up. I mean,
I
their fans were in absolute shambles at the beginning of the postseason. They looked like their franchise was kind of going downhill after last season, but they really turned it around this offseason, and I expect them to have a good year next year. Just just an absolute stacked lineup at this point.
I just want to give Freddie some more love too. Looking back at his 2025, a 5.5 WAR. He was 17 and 6 with a 2.70 ERA in 33 games started. He pitched 176 innings and had 204 strikeouts. The Mets got themselves an ace. I mean, this guy's legit and he's fun to watch. The Mets fans will love having this guy in the rotation just to support that already. I mean, like you said, they don't have a necessarily a guy there, but they have a good enough rotation that is manageable. And once you get a frontline ace like this, anything can happen. So I'm sure Mets fans are ecstatic right now, and they should be.
Yeah. Um, and then also just wanted to mention both the prospects in like the 30 to 50 range. So some highly touted prospects going the other way. And then obviously Sprout being a pitcher to hopefully replace Peralta.
Yeah, the it puts the Brewers in an interesting position too, man. The Brewers are young already
Yeah.
and have a lot of talent. I mean, look at the year they had. They just keep stacking up those young guys, and they can get away with trading some of these, longer tenured guys because they have this talent coming up the pipeline. So Brewers are obviously happy with the move. They get a nice piece for Freddie, and they're still going to be competitive too. So it probably works out great for both teams, in my opinion.
But yeah. I mean, it sucks Peralta leaving, in my opinion. Um, whether it's just not wanting to pay him or he just didn't want to play there anymore. But yeah, it's not ideal.
I think it comes down to, is Milwaukee a free agent destination spot?
No.
No. And Freddie is probably, he's got 8 years in. I would think he's at his 6 year service. Has he been signed to a contract? Do we have any contract info? Let me see quickly.
He's on the final year of a 5-year, $15 million contract.
Okay, so he probably signed one while he was still under 6 years MLB service. Um, I just, what are the chances of him coming back? And I think that's a something the Brewers assessed and decided that, hey, it's best if we at least get something for him before he's gone completely, and we leave empty-handed. So I think the Brewers made the right move.
Yeah. And with the way the Mets are spending this season, you think he's absolutely going to resign. That's obviously their long-term plan. Trading two prospects like that, you better have some hope that he's going to resign. You don't
Totally.
do that if you think it's a rental.
Yep.
So,
Totally agree.
all right. And then last thing I have here is the Texas Rangers acquire MacKenzie Gore for 5 prospects, including third baseman Gavin Feen, who was the 12th pick in last season's draft.
Yeah, I was very, I wanted the Stros to get um MacKenzie Gore early on in the offseason. Had I known it was going to take five of our top 20 prospects, I may reconsider. So I think Mackenzie Gore has a ton of potential. He could be a huge ad for any team that goes and gets him, but that is a lot to give up if you're the Rangers, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's absolutely a lot to get up. Especially when there's, you know, like left-handed free agent pitchers such as Framber Valdez available. Um,
I
you
think
could go ahead.
I was just gonna say I think Fromber really hurt himself by
Yeah.
crossing up uh, Caesar Salazar there towards the end of the year. So I think that's kind of why you're seeing some of the lack of interest that we've heard so far. I think really all I've heard is Mets and Orioles. And now with the Mets trading for a guy like Freddy Peralta, they don't really need a Framber Valdez. But knowing the Mets, who knows? They may go out and still get him. But yeah, I think Fromber still being available has some other reasoning besides his pitching ability.
Yeah. We just talked about some of those pitchers that were on that 4 ERA mark. That's kind of where Mackenzie Gore is sitting in his young career. And you expect him to obviously improve. He's only pitched, let's see, 4 seasons, but not full ones. And his last season obviously being his best one. Last season had a 4.17 ERA, but he pitched in 30 games, 159 innings. So yeah, it'll be interesting. He's kind of right around that league average as far as, ERA goes right now, but he's certainly got the stuff. And he's obviously still very young, so you expect him to keep improving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm a little nervous having them in the division now, so I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, not ideal for the Astros
Yeah.
fans.
And I think that's all I have on that one. I did want to go back. I'm taking a look at the Mets rosters after all the moves. It's, it's a fun little lineup.
It is. I mean, it's exciting after, the season they had. They're obviously frustrated.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's absolutely exciting. And you have to pick them as them and the Cubs and the Dodgers as like the three favorites. We talked about the Braves having a bounce back year. I mean, this team's better than the Braves on paper. Can they put it all together? That's a
Yeah.
different story.
Yeah, this is an interesting team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, obviously the weak spot is the starting rotation.
Not as weak now.
Not as weak, but still room for improvement, I think.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they go out and get a Fromber still
Yeah, they
out
certainly
there.
could. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's an exciting team. Polanco, Simeon, Bichette coming in. Obviously you still have Frankie there. We talked about Brett Beatty probably DHing quite a bit. But he can play the outfield too. Luis Robert in center and then Juan Soto in right. Yeah, it's gonna be an
Well,
exciting team.
and to be honest with you, Jess, after looking at this, I think we're going to see the Vientos DH role more than Beatty, if it were me, but they have options to say the least. So,
Yeah, they have options for sure. Um, It's going to be interesting. That Bichette playing third base still throws me off. It's going to be really weird seeing him play defense at third. But the bat obviously plugged into that lineup is going to be nuts. I mean, he's going to have an incredible year as far as RBIs go. Even probably just as good as when he was with the Blue Jays.
I think as we get closer to the season here and we get closer to opening day, we may have to do some roster predictions or some, sorry, not roster predictions, lineup predictions.
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got for the hot corner. You've got some MLB stock market stories for me.
Yes, I do. So we'll just keep it going with the Mets. Turned into a little Mets love fest here.
Well, with after this week, how could you not?
I totally agree. So to start us off, the MLB stock market, I give a current, I don't want to say take, but based on the news going around the MLB, I give a statement, and you have a chance to buy, sell, or hold. So I'll
Sounds
just start
good.
us off. Have the moves that the Mets have made in the last week or throughout free agency and the offseason been enough to get them back to the point where they were in the 2024 NLCS? And before that, they hadn't reached the NLCS since 2015. So is this enough to get them back to that spot? Or are we going to look at maybe squeak into the playoffs as a wild card team? Are they going to make it to the divisional series? What does the Mets season end at? Does it get them back to the NLCS with this current roster? Buy, hold, or sell?
Yeah, I think I'll buy. I like the team more on paper than the Braves, like I said. Obviously, the Phillies were had a good season last year, but they couldn't put it all together. And I think the Phillies missing out on Bo Bichette is kind of what puts the Mets over the edge. So yeah, I'll buy. I think they make it back. Juan Soto will have a more power next year, I think. He's going to be able to swing free in this lineup. He's not going to be the guy that needs to get on base and try to score every run for this team. And he may have more RBI opportunities it'll be interesting to see the lineup. Do they have, Bo in the 1-2 hole getting on base? Do they have him in the middle of the order? They're gonna have a bunch of different ways to utilize those bats. But yeah, I'm absolutely buying.
Okay. Next one. We're gonna get a little
Why don't you give
controversial.
me yours?
Oh, you want me to go too?
Yeah.
Okay. I am also buying. I think everything you just hit on, totally agree with. Like we talked about, the Braves are going to be competitive. The Phillies are still competitive. it's not like a walk in the park by any means, but
No.
this is a fun roster, and I think this could get the city of New York rolling behind the Mets. Like, it's fun when the Mets are playing good baseball. They have the city rally around them. It's one of those sports towns where it's like you got to live up to the standard. It's New York, man. So I think this roster has the potential to do that, and I am also buying.
Love it. All right.
And the next one, like I said, is a little controversial, and it kind of puts me in a weird spot, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Are we okay with guys like Carlos Beltran, who it's known he was a critical member of the 2017 Astros sign stealing scandal, making the Hall of Fame, while other cheaters of the game who use PEDs or steroids are not allowed in? Are
Yeah,
we
obviously,
are we buying? Are we holding? Are we selling the precedent that these guys should be allowed to get in while the others aren't?
yeah, I mean, my thing is the, the it's a one season thing, right? It mostly matters in the playoffs. Probably doesn't impact one player's stats all of that much, right? But it does potentially tarnish your legacy depending on who you are and how you look at it. Does his season before that get him into the Hall of Fame? Does this immediately disqualify him? That's
No.
kind of my argument.
No, he'd be in it regardless of what happened in 2017.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
like, can we just set that whole season aside? Like, sure, take away his
sure.
stats from 2017, he's still in the Hall of Fame. So that's kind of the way I look at it. But yeah, I know some people are purists and they're gonna say that, he messed up and he should have to pay the price, I guess. But um
And it's tough from a PED standpoint. Like, when was the player using it? Can you tell? Do you know what seasons they were truly doing it? I
no.
mean, obviously, if you look at some of the guys in the 90s, you can kind of tell when they buffed up, but you can't really see it anymore. So, are there guys who deserve to be in who did it once or twice? I don't know. That's for you to decide.
Yeah. And over the last 3 years, obviously, I think people have come to terms with this scandal and been like, okay, like it's time to get him in. Like he probably deserves it. Um, it says here that he only got 46% of votes in 2023, and now he's getting 75%. So, um, I don't know if what the threshold is as far as the scandals, and it's a line that hasn't been drawn yet, and maybe this is kind of that line. Um, so yeah, it's certainly interesting. As far as the buying or selling, uh, selling would mean that, it's fine that he's in. So I think I'm gonna sell.
I'm gonna buy.
Oh, okay. That's a hot take from the homer.
If truly, if you want to call it the Astros did, and it was cheating, and we're gonna go along and say that steroids are cheating as well, cheating's cheating. You can't like who's the judge on cheating? What cheating is allowed and what cheating isn't? Now, does the scandal bother me and the stuff people still have to say? For sure. But you can't have it both ways. So if you're gonna say Carlos Beltran can be in, I think you should say that the steroid users should be in too.
Yeah, Pete Rose obviously being the name that comes to mind first.
Pete Rose, amazing baseball player, bad guy. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, that's fine, but
what do they say? Separate the art from the artist.
I guess I'm not sure if we need to do that. We're just
But
talking about baseball here, but yeah,
yeah,
it is
I
it
think
is
if
a
you're
tough,
gonna,
it's a gray
I
area for sure.
I think if he's a cheater, and so are the other guys, you don't let him in. But who's the judge of what cheating is okay and what cheating isn't, or if that's allowed at all? So. I guess the people who are electing them in are the true judges of what's allowed and what's not. So I don't always agree with those guys anyway. So I'm buying
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah, that's fine. And the other thing is like obviously he became a manager for the Mets in 2020, and when the news came out, him and the team were like, "Yeah, I don't think we should do this anymore." Like it's it's understood in the baseball community that this is cheating, like you said, and it's not frowned upon. It's not allowed. And for him to lose a job over this, I mean, where do we stop? Like, so yeah, it's
I mean, if I'm Carlos Beltran, I'm like, so now that I'm in the Hall of Fame, can I try being a manager again?
yeah,
Like
certainly
what?
interesting.
Why wouldn't someone bring him in now? I guess is how I look at it. Now that
Right.
the baseball elitists have claimed him as good and worthy, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
certainly interesting.
And I think that's it for at the MLB stock market.
Sounds good. Did you have an ABS one? Were you gonna do that one?
Oh yes, I did have the ABS one. I forgot about that one. Are we buying, holding, or selling that at the end of 2026, ABS will be praised, or will we be hearing players, fans, maybe even umpires say, "Hey, we tried it. This wasn't for us. It didn't work as well as we thought it would." Which way are you leaning on that?
No, I'm buying. It's gonna be good. I don't need to explain this one much. I mean, we saw it already, in the minors, and we see it in spring training, right? So, no, I think it's gonna work out. It's gonna take some getting used to. It's like the pitch clock. People were so upset about that. The traditionalists saying that, we're changing the game, but really in an era where, people's attention spans are shorter, it worked. And now we're solving the problem of human error when we have the technology to be put in place to perfect strike calls. Um, and it's like this is happening in every sport. In soccer, we have, VAR. In hockey, we're getting reviews. In the NFL, we're getting reviews. In the NBA, we have coach challenges now. I mean, every sport's taking out the human error in referees and officials. And in this case, now we're taking it out of the hands of the umpires.
Yep, I
And
agree.
and they're still gonna have to make calls. There's gonna be bad calls still that aren't gonna be challenged because they probably ran out of challenges at that point. But I mean, it's still gonna be an issue in my opinion. It's gonna be reduced.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm gonna hold, but for a different reason.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be great for the game. I think the players are gonna love it. I think the umpires are gonna love it. I think there's enough dumb baseball Twitter folks who are gonna be upset about it, and they're not. I know I can just feel it now. There's going to be an argument like, yeah, but that's barely a strike. We shouldn't be relying on technology to make that call. It should be a human. It's going to be the same people who said, oh, this ump is terrible. We should get the ABS system in now. I just can feel it. So for that sake alone, I have a feeling there's going to be fans who hate it. So I'm going to hold for now.
Yeah, people love to complain if you didn't know that. People will find anything to bitch about, and it's just be happy with where we're at. They're trying to improve the game. It's not like they're intentionally trying to make you mad. They're trying to improve the game and make it as seamless as possible. No pun intended.
Yeah, that's a good one. I just baseball Twitter has got me like just questioning everything. Like, what has happened to the game I love?
It's getting better, Chris.
I hope so.
The
I hope
pitch
so.
clock got me into it, so
There you go. Look at where we are now.
like that.
But all right, that kind of wraps up MLB stock market. I like the topics we had this week. I think as we get closer to spring training and the World Baseball Classic, and there's still some free agency out there as well. So, I mean, we're gonna have a lot of good stock markets here coming up.
We'll have to have like a full World Baseball Classic once we find out more of the rosters, and we'll do like who we think's gonna win and what teams are gonna be to watch out for and potential like player of the tournament stuff. So that'll
I
be really
just
fun.
I'm gonna put in my best pool, like the teams. I'm
Hmm.
gonna go with the Houston pool. I think they're gonna have the best teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I just
they're gonna
want
have the
that
best
set down.
fans too. That's a
True.
guarantee.
Yeah, that's a fact. And then to kind of round out this episode of Platoon Baseball, we're gonna go back in time a little bit. We had a fair or foul debate last week between Jesse and Reed, which Jesse won due to his argument, even though I thought both were great arguments.
Yeah,
My good buddy, Alex Strauss, who I was fortunate enough to play club baseball with, listened to the podcast and had a few thoughts of his own on your guys' takes.
can't wait to
So
hear what he had to say.
he, I'm not gonna lie, it's got interesting because I didn't know this because I've never left this long of a voicemail. You get cut off after a certain point. So we
He
have
got
two
cut off.
voicemails.
Oh, okay.
So we'll start with the first one that
Can I
kind of
ask
talked.
how long how long the first one is? How long does
The
Apple
first
let
one
you
was
go?
about a minute 40. The second one was about 2 minutes. So it's not too long. But I didn't
So he
know that
got two
voicemails got
minutes is
cut
where it
off.
cuts off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna play the first one that really focuses on Reed's take about the 400
Do
saves.
you want me to comment after the first one, or should I let all of it play out first?
Let it play out,
Okay,
and then we can go
let's do
back.
it. Let's hear it, Strauss. Take over the pod for us.
So, name's Alex Strauss. Played baseball. Sathi, Christopher Sathi here. I went to college with him at.
Here we go.
Name's Alex Strauss, and I played baseball with Sathi, Christopher Sathi here. I went to college with him at UND, and yeah, I was listening to the podcast and the section where Jesse and Reed were having their own takes that they were giving out. I developed my own, and Sathi asked me to leave a voicemail, so here they are. But I'll start with the 400 saves one. I think Reed made a great point that no one that we're seeing playing right now is probably ever going to get the 400. But to say no one will ever get there again, I think I agree with Sathi and Jesse on that tune, where there's a lot of talented guys coming up, and more importantly, getting to 400 saves is talent, obviously, but I think it matters a lot in the situation. If you're on a good team that gives you a lot of save opportunities week in, week out, that number continues to climb. But guys like Mason Miller, who spent a lot of his innings playing for the Athletics when they were garbage, of course, he's not going to have many save opportunities, but, that kind of talent exists in the league, still does. And I think we're going to continue to see guys that have that kind of talent is one of them to get put in the right spot, and from there we'll go. And then on the
So I am gonna stop there and take your take on that since it gets a little jumpy with the two different voicemails.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what Strauss was saying. I think that's kind of what made it a hot take because we did want to make them a little spicy. It's no fun just coming in here and making a blanket statement, and it's
Yeah,
obviously
we
correct.
weren't gonna come in and say the Dodgers might win another World Series,
They
you know.
might, they might. So yeah, I agree with what Strauss is saying, and I think that's what made it such a hot take. That he said it'll never happen again, and not only that the active players won't do it, but that it'll never happen again. Um, and we went and talked about all the other untouchable records that are certainly more untouchable than the saves record. So yeah, I agree with him. There probably will be a guy to do it eventually.
Well, what's funny about it to me was he should have just taken the saves record as a whole. He then knocked himself down another 250 saves and just said 400 saves. I mean,
Oh,
Mo
we
had like,
we meant Rito.
yeah, I think Rito should have gone for just the saves record in
Well,
general.
no one will touch that, and that's not even a hot take.
Agreed, but I think he sold himself short with 400.
He could have said 500. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think 400 was a
No
little low.
one's touching the record. I don't know exactly what, I can't remember the exact number, but no one's touching. It's like six something.
You want to trivia me? I think it's
Six,
652.
six, yeah, that sounds right. But
I'll look.
no, he could have said 500 to make it safe, but I agree with Strauss. Just based on numbers of the amount of guys coming up. Like he said, the situation, the talent. It'll be interesting to see if the role changes over the next however many years.
Ding, ding, ding. 652.
Look at this guy gassing his own or pumping his own tires. But yeah, I think Strauss is 100% right. But that's why it's a hot take. So
Yep. All right. Let me. So I'm gonna finish
can't
off.
wait. If he says it's the owner's fault, I mean that's just yeah.
Here is the end of that first one.
And then on the no salary cap coming out on the more, well, I guess I should say the lockout that we're all expecting to come.
Yep.
I honestly think there probably is going to be a good argument for a salary cap to be introduced.
There
It's
is.
just
No,
That's the end of the first one.
he got cut off.
Okay. We can paste this together.
well, continuing what I was saying, and I really do like that voicemail message by Chris there. But yeah, I think with the upcoming lockout, I think salary cap is certainly going to be in play, and the salary floor. I think Jesse made a great point that it's the owners and the Players Association that have to agree. But I do think there's a large part of the owners that aren't exactly happy with the way the deferred contracts are working out, um, especially with the way they're being implemented currently. Not everyone can get away with that. And to tell you the truth, I don't, the Dodgers being the worst example of it. I don't know how it's going to look in the future for them when the chickens come home to roost. But there's just a lot of owners out there who I don't think are exactly happy with the way it's going. And I think it's going to be a struggle to get the owners and the Players Association to agree. Because I think Jesse was exactly right. The players want to be paid the most. And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's kind of driving such a wedge in the sport that it's going to start driving interest in MLB baseball down, I think, if it's allowed to continue. And of course, deferred contracts are nothing new, but almost always before this kind of recent uptake in the deferred contracts, they've been at the end of a player's career where they wanted them off the roster, but needed to pay them the money they owed them, like Chris Davis, Bonnie Bonita, those kind of situations where they're already paying that out to like 2040 or something like that. But it was simply that they didn't have anything left in the tank. It's not current.
And he got cut off again. So he didn't
That's
try for a third time, but I think he made his point pretty clear.
Yeah, I agree with him again. I mean, those are all great points. Again, the problem is the MLBPA does not want salary cap. The only advantage the owners have is they can wait longer than the players. If we do have a full lockout and the owners say, okay, we're not playing baseball until you guys agree to this, that's the only way this gets done, which sucks for us. It sucks for the players. It sucks for everyone. Except if the owners get what they want, that's what it's going to take. They have to outweigh the players. They have more leverage, and the players are going to have to buck up and, take the salary cap or whatever. But my other thing is like, are we grandfathering the salary cap in? Is the salary cap going to be set at what the Dodgers are currently at? Like, how does this work? Or do you set the salary cap above what the Dodgers are at, and then eventually, with inflation and the contracts increasing, they're going to hit it, and then other teams are going to catch up? How does that look? It'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, agree with Strauss. Agree with his examples of deferred money as well. Usually it's at the end of contracts, but now we see it as a way for teams to skirt around the luxury tax, or spread out the luxury tax throughout
For
multiple seasons.
example, in this upcoming year, the Dodgers will be paying Shohei Ohtani and Kyle Tucker a combined salary of $3 million.
Is that it?
That's what I read the other day. Because the reason they're getting away with that with Tucker is because they are signing him to a $64 million signing bonus, which is due before spring training starts.
Right. So technically he's getting the 64
Right.
this year, but I understand what you're saying. And
Yeah.
I agree. And that's kind of what Strauss was saying too. It's being used differently, which is where the problem is now becoming. But, rules are written in blood. I mean, someone's got to do something before the rules are changed. If no one's, taking advantage of it, then no one's going to change the rule. So, yeah, I agree. And that's also why it was a hot take, is that I said it's not going to happen because the players won't agree. But if the owners will wait them out, and we don't have baseball for a little bit, it could get really interesting. And
Yeah.
we're obviously going to have that lockout probably.
I just hope Kyle and Shohei like they can afford to eat and like put a roof over their head with
Yeah.
those low salaries,
I
man.
mean, they
That's
don't
what
even,
I'm worried
they
about.
can,
They should be roommates.
yeah, maybe they might have to move
And
into
then
the,
Tucker can like become Shohei's interpreter. And then like the Dodgers can cut costs that way, then they can go
but,
defer some more
but
payments.
Tucker can't put parlays down. So how is that going to work?
But they still got eBay's login.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And my thing is like the players with brand deals are going to be like, yeah, New Balance is paying me enough money. I can get by for now.
Yeah.
But what do the bottom of the barrel guys, no offense to the bottom of the barrel guys, but they're not getting paid enough to survive not playing baseball and getting paid. Like they're like, yeah, bring salary cap. Like I want to play baseball again. And that's what you know, I worked all my life to come up and earn a contract, and now it's, I'm not being paid to play baseball. So they're obviously going to want the salary cap. But the people on the board, Chris Bassett, I know is a big part of the board. Paul Skeens is a big part of the board. Those guys they're vouching for the players that want the large contracts. And the young guys may want a salary cap now, but in a few years when they're signing massive contracts, their minds may change. So the MLBPA has never agreed to salary cap before. I just think that is going to continue unless the owners can really outweigh them, but I just don't see that happening. Like I said, I could see a floor, but then you're getting the bottom, uh, the lower net worth owners are going to have to pay more money to the players. So the players usually end up winning these arguments, but like Strauss said, it's certainly going to be talked about. And I agree that salary cap favors most of the owners, but I just don't think it'll end up happening.
Yep. We will see. Time will tell. At least we got this year. We know that.
We
So
got this year. Yeah, thanks for the voicemail, Strauss. That was good stuff, and I will have to have you on at some point.
yeah, thank you, Strauss. Can't wait to have you on. He's quite the character and he likes to stir stuff up, so I'm real excited to have him on with us as we record.
Yeah, and then we'll have to do our full season predictions one of these episodes too. Rito likes to do
Maybe
that.
that honestly, I think that should be the next one.
Okay.
Well,
We might want to wait until a few more free agents sign.
yeah, I was gonna say let's do it the week before spring training starts.
Okay. But in the next month for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But
Okay.
that'll be it for us today. I think we covered everything we planned on right now. I mean, I think I'm just pumped. We're getting there, man. I went onto the game or the scores tab of the MLB app today, and they had the February 20th first day of spring training games on there already. So like we're right there. We are less than a month away. So
Yeah.
getting jazzed for that.
When golf's starting, baseball is getting closer, so it's always nice.
Yep. So as we wind down from football, head into the March Madness days, baseball's just beginning. So it's right here, guys. We're not too far away.
Excited. And I'm still pumped for the World Baseball Classic. I ordered a hat. We're just talking about what jerseys we want to be buying. Probably wait until we get to Houston, buy them firsthand, but
Yeah, I
excited.
was on the phone with Rito earlier, and he's like, I was thinking about the World Baseball Classic today. He was pretty pumped. So
Yeah,
it's
I
cool to
think we
see all
all
the
are.
fellas getting excited to come down here and experience that. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, we're just gonna be hanging out at the park all day, so it's gonna be sick.
At the ice box.
Let's go. Crawford box is gonna be sick. So
Yeah.
yeah, hopefully we catch a home run. Might have to bring my glove. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But
No.
yeah, hopefully it's gonna be good vibes and the videos are gonna be awesome. So
Jesse's gonna be the new Zach Hampel out there at Dyken Park for the 2 days he's there. Are you familiar with Zach Hampel's game?
I'm not. It sounds
I think
familiar.
I
Oh,
think you
yeah, yeah,
are.
yeah. I'm familiar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
Bro
the
thinks he's on the team guy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
He's
familiar. How could you not be familiar? I didn't know his
honestly
name. That was an incredible poll that you had knew his first and last name, but or maybe
I'm
I'm in the wrong for not knowing.
I'm gonna go on a limb, but I'll give my one hot take of the day. We might be sitting next to Zach Campbell at the World Baseball Classic.
I think every guest we should have on, we should ask them if they know who Zach Campbell is. That's like our first question we ask.
He bothers me, man. Ugh, he just bothers me. But
48. I would not have guessed he was 48. I would have said he was like 30 something, but I mean, whatever. I don't really care. People can do what they want to do.
nah, it's lame. It's lame.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
like
it
trying to
is. It
body
is.
kids in the process.
Yeah. That's the worst part. I mean, the kids deserve the ball. I can't wait to hand the ball and they show the Jumbotron on me and then I hand it over to some kid and I'm a hero.
Oh, Jesse's gonna be and he's gonna be like 3 years from now. He's like, baseball makes you smile. When baseball makes you smile.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But all
I'm
right,
just
guys.
going for the fame. So
I know you are. I know. But all
all
right,
right.
that'll be it for this
Good
rendition
episode.
of the Platoon Baseball Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Jesse hooked that up last week.
Instagram, Twitter at Platoon Baseball Podcast.
Awesome.
Peace. See you guys.